The question that we're asking here, the issue here is anticipatory self-defense okay? So if, let's say that someone's coming at me with a knife and they start to stab me, I can defend myself. And no one would really say, oh, you shouldn't, you can't hit that person, blah, blah, blah. But let's say that somebody calls me up and says, you know what, 20 years from now, I'm going to come at you with a knife. Can I kill that person right now to make sure that I don't get attacked 20 years from now? The answer is pretty much no. So the question then becomes, at what point does self-defense kick in? And this idea of anticipatory self-defense is that I think something's going to happen. I anticipate that I'm going to need self-defense, so I can strike you first. So the question that's going to get asked is, take Israel and Iran. Let's say Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Iran has said to Israel, I don't think you're a state, you kind of suck, blah, blah, blah. So how many nuclear weapons, how many nuclear bombs have to drop in Israel before Israel is wiped off the face of the earth? The answer is 1. It's not a big country, so one nuclear weapon can pretty much devastate it. Japan and North Korea. How many nuclear weapons have to hit Japan for Japan to be wiped out? Now, Japan's a little bit bigger. It's got a little more space, a little more people. But honestly, if you drop a nuclear weapon in the middle of Tokyo, Japan's not coming back from that. So again, 1. So how many nuclear weapons can Israel allow Iran to have? How many nuclear weapons can Japan allow North Korea to have? And the answer is, if you ask them, 0. So if Iran is working on a nuclear weapon, if Syria is working on a nuclear weapon, as you saw in that video, Israel says, before they get one, we need to take out their program. And so Israel is going to make the argument why Iran should not get a nuke. Iran has a geopolitical incentive to threaten Israel. There's the religious angle, there's the power angle, there's all sorts of reasons why Iran does not like Israel. They may have an ideological incentive to attack. And from Israel's position, they say, look, I'm not even sure the leadership is acting rationally. So even if they were rational, there'd be some problems, but I kind of think they're a little crazy, which means, can we really trust them with weapons? We can't let them have even one nuclear weapon. So the question then becomes, how far can Israel go to stop Iran's program? And honestly, Israel has done quite a bit to stop Iran's program. One of the things that they did, I probably should have found a video on this. I can't even remember. Stuxnet is what it's called. If you think about it, you can look this up. Stuxnet was a computer virus that they released into the world, and it only sort of did something to programs that were working with centrifuges, particular centrifuges that made weapons-grade uranium. And so once this got in there, they could flip it on, and essentially the Iranian centrifuges started spinning too fast, and they broke and set the whole program back multiple years. But also, as you saw in that video, Israel is not afraid to get in the planes and bomb things to make sure that they don't get that. Now, is that an act of war, or is that an act of self-defense? That's part of what this question is. Can Israel do a preemptive strike on Iran? Could they go in and say, before you get this, we get to take you out? This is an ongoing conversation. It's not just the case with Israel and Iran, but of course, and we can also add Saudi Arabia and Iran to that, but also North Korea, Japan, North Korea, South Korea. Those are sort of the things there. I'll just add one more term that I don't have on here, and that's the term extended deterrence. So what this means is, obviously, if you attack the United States with a nuclear weapon, the United States will fire a nuclear weapon back at you. And so that's deterrence. If you fire a nuclear weapon in the United States, you will die. Extended deterrence is where we say to countries like Japan, South Korea, Israel, Saudi Arabia, if somebody launches a nuclear weapon at you, the United States will fire back. So you don't have to develop nuclear weapons on your own. This is our way of non-proliferation in countries like this. And as long as they trust that we will do that, it works. If they don't trust that, then once North Korea gets the bomb, Japan and South Korea have to get the bomb as well. And we are working really hard right now, especially with Saudi Arabia, to convince Saudi Arabia not to get a bomb while Iran's program is going on. So now you're going to read a little something here. This is something called the Waltz-Sagan debate. And I want to ask, this is the question I want to ask. Should we allow states that don't have nuclear weapons? Is it better that they get nuclear weapons? I know that sounds weird when I say that, but would the world be a safer place if everybody had nuclear weapons?